Hello guys, it's me Butterfly Spirit 314. So guys, what I want oh my gosh, my hair. What is it doing? Oh my gosh. All right guys, so in today's video, I'm going to talk about my third pole dance class today. So for those of you who don't know, I'm currently working on becoming a level 1 in pole dancing at the studio where I take my chair dancing and my heels technique classes at. So I decided to start taking classes at the studio because I already attend a pole studio, but that particular studio that I'm going to, they're not really teaching me um, how to progress in my pole journey, even though I'm a level 1 with them. I don't feel like I'm making as much progress as I would like to. And so that's why I'm taking these introductory classes at another studio. So today was my third class, and I will go into a bit more detail about some of the moves that I learned today because I feel like in some of my videos, I don't really get much in detail about them. And so I would like to share some of that with you guys so you can understand what may it feel like for me to do a move, or what are my thoughts going through my head when I'm doing a certain move. So I will be posting some shorts of myself in my third class that I took this afternoon. So I'll be doing that probably tomorrow when I have more time. Okay, so in today's pole class, what I did, well, I'll go back. So what I did this morning was that I knew I was going to pole class, so I did get my little pole book bag, pole book bag ready. So I got my book bag ready with my pole outfit that I was going to wear and things, and I based my outfit, what I'm going to wear for my pole class, based off of what they want us to wear to class. So what I wear to my introductory to pole class is basically a sports bra, and I wear shorts, and I wear my socks. And people are confused about why I bring socks. And the thing is that socks are actually something helpful for beginner pole dancers to help us with doing moves and stuff. So that's why we wear socks. And there's a YouTuber who talks about why pole dancers wear socks in more detail, and things. If you guys want to check that out on YouTube, I don't know her particular um, like the title of that video, but I know that video is out there. And if you guys want me to find it, you can just like comment, and I'll try to find it for you and be posting in the comments. So anyway, I'll go ahead and talk about basically what happened. Well, I was on my way to my pole dance class, okay? And I felt like I had plenty of time. I was leaving out at 3 o'clock, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And then as I'm walking out the door, I had already put my book bag in the car that had my pole stuff in it. And then I'm about to get in the car, and then all of a sudden I hear a meow, and I'm like, what is that? And I hear meow, and I'm like, what the? And I thought like I was confused, and so I started looking around before I got in the car because I was gonna leave. I didn't want to be late for my pole dance class. And so then, I look in my front yard and I see there's a cat, and I'm like, you know, and I'm thinking it's the cat that I normally see that comes and sits on my porch with me and stuff, that the cat I feed. And so, um, turns out it wasn't the cat I normally feed, but it is the cat I have fed in the past. And so here it is, this other cat. Her name, I call her Skitty, because she's scared and she's a kitty. You can find those. Her name's Skitty. So here it is. Here's Skitty, and she's a gray cat, but she has white feet, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense on her paws and stuff. But I knew it was her, and so she was she was meowing and stuff She didn't want me to get close to her and stuff. So she is feral, but she does want me to feed her. And so I'm like, Skitty, I have to go to my class. Like, come on. And so she's meowing, and I'm like, oh, she has some sort of tummy ache because she's hungry. And so I'm like, okay, fine. So I go back into the house and I go get her some tuna, bring it outside for her. And then I put it down so that she can go ahead and then she can eat. And the thing is, she doesn't like to be close to me, but she will eat the food. And she does know who I am based off of my scent and everything like that. Now, after I fed her, I go to get in the car, and then I happen to look across the street under the neighbor's car across the street, and there's the other cat, Honey, which I feed, which is the gray cat with the stripes and the spots. And she's from under the car because it was super hot. She's looking out from under the car and she's looking up at me. And I told her, there's the window down, and I'm like, okay, honey, I'll be back later. I have to go to my class now and stuff. And she's like looking up at me, and I'm like, I'll be back. And so, here it is. I'm feeding the cats and talking to the cats before I go to before I go to my pole class. But I couldn't just leave Skitty. I couldn't just leave her hungry. It's not something I can do. I would have felt bad if I would have left her. Um, so I go pull off, and finally I drive to my pole class. So as I'm driving to my pole class, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm going to make it here on time. Luckily, when I checked the time, I still had time. I still would have had at least 10 minutes before my class would start, like 10 to 12 minutes. So I would be good. So as it turns out, I was right. I got to my class about 10 to 12 minutes before the start time, which was great. So I was able to make sure my cats were good. And then I also ended up, making it a class on time. So when I came into the pole studio, and things, then there was like 5 girls that were already there and things, and they already had their yoga mats and stuff laid out. Interesting thing is that these girls actually had their yoga mats laid out, instead of having the mats laid from right to left, I guess you call that horizontally. They actually had their yoga mats like vertically, like up and down on the floor. And I had never seen this before, because usually, like most of the pole students I've been in class with, many of them typically have their mats laid horizontally, and that allows more people to have like space. But I guess these girls that were there, they wanted to have their mats vertical. And there were other girls who came in and then they laid their mats vertical too, which was kind of a little bit odd to me. I'm like, but I laid my mat horizontal. That just works better for me. Everybody pretty much borrowed a mat, so that was, I guess, it made things easier. I like to borrow a mat because I don't want to take a yoga mat to class. I have a yoga mat in the background, it's purple, but I wouldn't want to log that thing around because I just don't want to. It's just not something I want to remember to take with me to pole class. I just wouldn't want to. I've seen girls in my classes actually in my other classes, I've seen them have some kind of holder for their yoga mat where they put a strap over it or something or whatever. But that's not really something I would want to take with me and lug around my yoga mat. I just wouldn't want to. So no. So I just basically borrow a yoga mat. So in today's class, we finally get here. Finally. Okay, so in today's class, what happened today is that I got to learn maybe 1 to 2 moves. I got to learn. They were different. So in today's class, we started off with the body waves. So body waves are, let me see, something's going on with my... Oh, okay. Looks like my internet's stable. I don't know what's going on. YouTube was telling me that my connection wasn't stable or something. Okay. So what body waves are basically when you get really close to the pole and you basically move in a snake-like fashion, up to the pole and back away from the pole. So it like a snake essentially. So in my first intro to pole class, I actually learned how to do the body waves. So it was kind of old to me. And I also learned how to do body waves at the other studio I go to. So it wasn't really too new, but I still paid attention anyway because I want to make sure I'm learning my pole moves well. Okay. And body waves is no exception. So I want to make sure I'm doing it. So I still watched the teacher. And as it turns out, my pole teacher, I've had her before. So she was the same instructor I had my first class with. And she does baby step the moves with us so that we can understand the moves in manageable chunks. So when she was doing the body waves, I still paid attention to how she was doing it and things to learn the technique and remember the technique. Because just because I learned it once doesn't mean I'm going to know it now. Okay. So after she demonstrated the body waves to us, then I did the body waves. Now I shared a pole. Basically, I shared the pole with another student and things, and she was really nice. I think her name was Maddie, and she was really nice and stuff. She was really sweet. In our pole dance class, we do share the pole with other students because there's 10 of us and 4 poles. And so we actually have to take turns using the pole. And so when I got a chance to use the pole, like when I took turns, I was happy to have a pole partner that was really nice and really supportive. It was really cool. So when I was doing the body waves, what I will say, when I was doing the body waves, I paid attention to how the teacher had did it. And I put my hands the same way that she did around the pole to hold on to the pole pretty much like this. So I put my hands up there like on the pole. And then I basically moved back and forth in a more snake-like or I guess slinky sort of fashion to do body waves. And my teacher said that I did very well. And I was happy I was doing it well because I was like, am I really doing this right? I didn't record myself doing the body waves, but I will say that because I learned how to do it before, my body, was more comfortable getting into the motion of doing the body waves. So I will say doing the body waves, I've heard if you don't feel awkward doing it, you're not doing it right. So I just kind of went with the feeling, and I really was like, okay, I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to, move like a snake and I'm going to make this look good as I can. I feel awkward as hell, but I'm going to do this shit. So I did. Let me see. One thing. Hang on 1 second. I want to check something. 1 second. I want to check one thing. I want to check my channel. Okay, good, because I'm currently still live. My connection was really bad, so I just want to make sure it's still working. All right, so after doing the body waves, like I said, I did not record myself doing the body waves. That's okay. So after doing that, we then started to learn, how to do we did a step around. And I'm familiar with the step around, but I still watched it. So I watched the teacher, watched her demonstrate it. And then after she demonstrated it, me and Maddie basically took turns doing a step around. So when we step around the pole, basically we start off by stepping into the movement based off of leg that's closest to the pole. And then basically we step forward and then we move around the pole and then basically we stop. So as far as step arounds are concerned, I can't demonstrate it because I don't have a pole right here with me. But when I do step arounds, I do feel comfortable doing them. But there are times I feel awkward. Like in my last class, when I had my last teacher, I felt kind of awkward doing the step around because the teacher was watching me the whole time. I kind of liked in this class how like the teacher is kind of watching other students, so she wasn't watching me directly. But when she was watching me, I felt kind of comfortable and fine by the time I did it. So I was kind of less nervous, I guess, and stuff. And my teacher, just for clarification, my teacher has actually been doing pole dance for 10 years. The teacher I had in my last class had been doing pole dancing for 13 years. So my teachers, I can definitely tell you, they are fully qualified to teach pole. So they definitely know what they're doing. I will go back a little bit and say that for me, it was my third class. There are some people who were in their first ever pole class in this particular class. There wasn't anybody who was in their like eighth or ninth class or anything like that. And actually, there was a girl that I didn't see in today's class or anything like that. I thought I would see her because I seen her in my last two classes, but she wasn't there and her friend wasn't there either. So I was like, man, I was kind of looking forward to seeing her, but she wasn't there. So it's kind of noticeable for me. There were new faces in this pole class, so people I had never met before. I never met Maddie before. And actually, there's two girls named Maddie in the class, so that was pretty cool. So I will say, and the pole partner I had in my last class, she wasn't in this class. So I'm kind of sad that there's some people I'm not seeing. Like in my chair dancing classes, like there are people who I get used to seeing and they're like familiar faces and stuff. And so I guess I just like seeing people who are familiar in my classes, because like when we share classes together, it's like we're friends, and we get to encourage each other, which is really cool. Maddie was really sweet with encouraging me today. I think she was really nice by doing that. That was really amazing of her to encourage me and clap for me. I was like, thank you. She was like really sweet. So I will say that, let's see. So after doing the step around, we moved on to the fireman spin. So I know how to do a fireman. It was new to people in class, but it wasn't new to me. But I watched this teacher's technique of how to do a fireman based off how she did it. And although she did it in a certain way, I did a fireman and she liked the way that I did the fireman that I did and stuff and things. So that was pretty cool. So doing a fireman, it's basically like you are sliding down the pole, basically like a fireman would slide down a pole. So it is like that, except you're spinning around the pole as you're sliding down the pole and stuff. So basically, you are stepping forward. You have a couple of your hands on the pole like this. You step forward. You hook your outside leg around the pole, and then you spin around the pole, and you basically slide down it. And that's what you do to do a fireman. And so I do like doing fireman. So it's like one of my favorite spins that I like to do that I'm most familiar with. I think I noticed my pole partner, Maddie, she had a hard time doing the fireman. She learned how to do it once, but after that, she kind of like wasn't able to do it and stuff. But she said at least she did it once. And I'm like, yeah, and for me, pole moves, it can take me like, I can try one pole move and then I literally have to wait. And then the next week, I finally understand how to do that pole move. So it takes me a while. And, everybody's journey in pole is different. And, it's definitely something that not everybody's going to get their first try, and that's okay. Some people will, some people won't. But I commend her for trying, and she still kept at it. And I appreciate that too. And we did take turns going first. She wanted me to go first when we did the step around, and when we did the body wave, she wanted me to go first. And then after that, I was like, hey, go ahead and go first. I don't want to like always go first or whatever, It's because I wanted her to get some chances to go first, on the pole. So after that, we learned let's see what we learned. After doing the fireman, we ended up doing, let me think. I believe, we ended up learning a new move that I definitely need experience with. So it was new to me. So I learned how to do a skater hold. So that's basically where you basically like put your knee up to the pole, and then basically you put your hands up, basically up on the pole, basically reaching up really straight. And then what you do is that you step up onto the pole and you put your back leg out. That's how I can describe it. So when I was doing the skater hold, um, I will say I've done the skater before, but I think having to hold is something that I'm going to have to get used to doing. Even though I've done it in the past, I think this time around doing the skater hold, like I was able to do it by using my lats, which I definitely need to work on them because they're weak. And my assumption was that I'm doing like that, I'm supposed to like do it like I am, using my biceps, but you don't use your biceps, you use your lats and your back. And so that's definitely something that I think I learned this time. And I understood in this class, the last class, when they were climbing, or when we were climbing, I had the hardest time really doing any of that because my lats were really weak. And I didn't know that you're lifting with the lats of your back and not with your biceps. So this time I learned how to do the skater hold, and that is basically the precursor to learning to climb. And so I basically think that I did really well doing the skater hold and stuff. I will say it is something that will definitely, if you do it enough times, it will wear you out because you're lifting up your body up onto the pole, like you're stepping up, and you're having to hold your body up, and that can definitely be tiring. For me, I will say that I was able to hold myself up for a few seconds, and then I had to get down. So definitely something I need to work on. But I'm glad I got to definitely practice it and learn the right form to use to do it. And I'm looking forward to being able to do more of that. So last and finally, the move we learned was we did what's called a sit. So I've done a pole sit before, but when I learned a pole sit, I don't feel like I learned I learned it, but I don't think I learned how to do it in the technique I learned today. And what I feel is that I learned it in a more easier way that can be broken down to me so I can understand it and things. Now, a pole sit is definitely something that I will say that I'm going to have to practice because it's going to take practice. But I will say, doing a pole sit where I'm sitting up on the pole and crossing my legs on the pole, I will say it is not the most comfortable move because basically I have a pole, like basically I am basically have the pole and I'm basically like it's between my thighs, between my legs pretty much. And I'm squeezing the pole and then I'm tilting my body to the right or to the left and then holding onto the pole. And I will tell you, it hurts. I'm not shitting you. It actually hurts to do a pole sit. And the thing is that what they call that is basically it is conditioning the legs to the pole. Okay. And it's not fun. It is not fun to do it. It didn't feel good to do. It was not my favorite. And yes, I was holding myself up and everything, but I will say having to have that pole like between my thighs and stuff, I really did not like it because it was painful. I would say Maddie said the same thing too. She was like, oh, that is uncomfortable. Like after she seen me do it, then she tried it. She was like, oh, I don't like that. So yeah, a pole sit definitely it's definitely not there. It's not comfortable. It definitely does hurt to do that in order to sit that way. Now my teacher, it's painless for her or less painful for her, and it's like her body is used to it. But for me, yeah, my legs don't like a pole sit. My legs do not like it. And she's like, well, you're going to have to get used to it. If you're going to want to, get to those advanced moves, you're going to have to get used to this. I'm like, oh, no. I think when I was recording my short of myself doing a pole sit, I will say that I will say I was tired after doing the pole sit because I was like, okay, time for a nap because my body was like, it was so over it. It definitely was. And it was painful and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So, but I still tried it. I still stayed up there. I'm going to stay committed to doing it, to getting further in my pole journey. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. So what's next for pole? So you guys stayed this far. Thank you. Thank you. So what's next for pole, guys, is pretty much that. I do have a couple of pole dance classes coming up. So this was pole dance class number 3. I'm glad that I was on a wait list for it and somebody canceled because, that puts me further and closer towards getting to level 1. Because in order to become a level 1, I have to take 8 intro classes. So I'm well on my way and I can check that 3rd class off the list. Yay. So this month I have 2 classes that I'm going to be taking. So I'm going to be taking a class on Wednesday and I'm going to be taking one on Sunday. So Wednesday, it'll be my 4th class. And then Sunday, it'll be my 5th class. And in October, there's going to be a week that they're not going to be offering classes at the end of September. So in October, I'll be taking, I think it's October 5th, I'll be taking my 6th pole dance class. So guys, I am getting close to that number 8 class. I probably will take about 10 classes before I end up going to level 1. Just because I think that I said I want to get to 8, but I might get to like probably 10. Then I think I'll go to like level 1 and stuff. But I'm really happy with how today's class turned out. And I'm looking forward to learning more and stuff as far as pole is concerned. So I really can't wait to see what else I learn in my classes. The next time I take my class, there is going to be, let me see, I think there's going to be a new teacher that I'm going to be taking a class with. So I'm going to be learning from a completely new teacher. Now, the teacher I had today, I will be taking a class with her on Sunday. So I'll be seeing her again. So it's going to be really cool. So my teachers, they're all really nice and they're really cool. So I really like it. But yeah, in this video, I just wanted to kind of give you guys more of an understanding of like, what it was like to do certain pole moves, like what I do and like the thoughts that go through my head and how it feels to do these different things and stuff, just so you guys like have more context. All right, all. So thank you guys for watching me. And I really appreciate the support. Bye for now.